Good space time, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Citizen Web3 podcast, a source for educational insights into the Web3 universe and your connection hub to discovering the people that contribute to building the decentralized world. Today, we are joined by Pira, Managing Director of Daic. We discuss sound money, scammers, and keeping your eyes open for blockchain. We touch upon value, the importance of green energy, and trust in the government. Finally, we talk about bots, dying hard drives, curiosity, and the strange things that need to be done. If you enjoy the Citizen Web3 podcast, please share this episode to your favorite social platform and help us spread Web3 values into the universe.
Sure. We in crypto, we are perfect to burn our own houses again and again. Blockchain technology and sound money is probably making some stupid things more difficult. You need to have some kind of control about your machines on an infrastructure level. Trust is the most important between relationships, even if we are in the trustless ecosystem.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to a new show of Citizen Web3 podcast. And today I have Pira with me from Daic Capital. Hi, Pira. Welcome to the show.
Hi, welcome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Now, before we go in and before I allow you to introduce yourself, just for everybody out there, Peter, no, you know what? No, I was going to make an intro about your validator, but then I thought, no, I'm going to allow you to do it. And Peter, maybe introduce yourself. We're going to traditional thing. Introduce yourself. Tell us everything you do, what you do in Web3, how you got to Web3, and we will take it from there.
Yeah, I'm Peter. I'm managing director and co-founder from Daic. Currently at Daic, we are basically known for running validators, but also running certain other services, infrastructure services like RPC or so on. And we also provide or try to provide a lot for the community. So we recently publish posts, deep insights around projects, chain agnostic basically. We are also building dashboards, tools, and whatever. And this is what we are doing. And my background, I have a degree in mechanical engineering, and I also studied software development and computational science. And first contacts to crypto were somewhere in 2013, 2014. Didn't understood what Bitcoin is. It was at the peak of the bull market, I remember, or I found some docs where I noted Bitcoin alternative or something. Started a little bit mining, playing around with the technology, as I said, didn't fully got it. And then in 2015, 2016, I started to learn more about it. And since then I'm in crypto. And what I really like is everything with data engineering. So doing a lot of on-chain analysis and so on. Also together with my co-founder. So you see a lot of our dashboards are really data-driven, on-chain data-driven. And that's
I know you also didn't mention one thing. All these crazy things, you didn't mention bare metal, right? Your guys also are a bare metal validator, right?
As far as I'm aware. Bare metal. Okay. Basically bare metal only, yeah.
So we have a lot to talk about today then. Great. So let's start at the top though.
Austria, bare metal provider from Austria. Yeah?
but let's wait. Let's start at the top. Let's start at the top before we get into like all the validator stuff and all that business. But I mean, okay, I get it. You have a background which suits perfect crypto. But what's your personal interest? Why not? I don't know. Why not go work in any other field in the world? You know, what attracts you to the Web3 world? Why? What is it important for Peter? Why? What does it matter? What's the difference between working in blockchain with this degree or not taking those skills anywhere else where probably could be easier and more safer? I don't know. Some people at least would definitely say so.
Yeah, first of all, it's the technology itself. So I really like to at least try to understand what the different layer ones, but also layer twos are doing. how they try to solve certain problems. And yeah, in the end, I mean, you all know this field, yeah. In my opinion, the brightest people are working in that industry. Yeah? Whenever I'm at conferences or somewhere, I'm thinking I'm the dumbest in the room. Yeah, you can really feel the energy, and you can feel how smart the people are. And also, I find it fascinating the development speed of the technology. Sure, we in crypto, we are perfect to burn our own houses again and again. Uh, Everything is collapsing as quick as we're building it up. Sometimes it feels like this, but this is how innovation is made. Yeah? It's quickly shipped, and the things typically the mistakes are not made again, at least that often. Yeah. Sometimes well-known mistakes are copied again and again, but not more than 3 times, I would say. Yeah, and it's amazing how quickly this industry evolves, how many knowledge, brain power is going in there, and for sure also, um, yeah, how things are done. Yeah, I mean, we often think that in 3 years the world looks like this and this. This is probably a little bit overestimated, but if you look 5 years or 7 years back, yeah, it's amazing what has been done, and also how the challenges are solved. I'm thinking especially about the Ethereum updates. Yeah, I mean, there is so complex updates. Yeah, are running so smoothly and are so wonderfully tested and deployed. It's amazing. And for sure, the other thing what interests me most is, or what also interests me a lot is, yeah, sound money. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin, yeah, Bitcoin is the strongest money in the earth. Yeah, it's clear that money needs to be computational, permissionless. Yeah, it's not possible that machines, robots, AIs, whatever, can work with middlemen, with humans. Yeah, humans who do mistakes or do things because what do things and they are not neutral, mathematically neutral. So for sure, Bitcoin is the next evolution of money, and yeah, this is also what's bringing me or binding me to that space.
It's interesting, you mentioned more the technological field and so let's call it intellectual curiosity, right? It's hard to put like, a tag on what you said. But by the way, while you were talking, I remembered that I came across somewhere in Ethereum, somewhere where, this was a long time ago, somewhere where I seen Vitalik mentioned the fact that the Ethereum L1 was never meant for humans. It was always meant for robots. And the plan, it's not, the L2s are meant to interact, and the whole gas wars are pointless in this case because, well, it's not meant to be cheap and it's not meant to be for human interaction, the Ethereum. But it's interesting because, yeah, technology evolves at such great pace. And from here, I think I'm going to ask you my next question, because lately there has been a lot of technological like evolution happen, around AI, of course, and we hear people talk about morals and about whether AI is going to overtake us and eat us and all that bullshit, right? So, what is the value mission not, maybe, I don't know if you personally or of Daic Capital, but is there a mission, or it's just like, okay, we're curious in technology, we want to kind of like, I don't know, hug it, I don't know, embrace it, embrace the technological evolution for the sake of technological evolution? Or is there some kind of mission as well? For example, the sound money, you mentioned that, right? That drives you guys to, I don't know, to get more validators, to build more tools and so on and so forth.
I mean, there is no real defined mission, I would say. It's more really driving the technology and the interesting things about the new things which come up. I mean, not every Web3 project needs to deliver sound money. I think with Bitcoin, we have sound money, and sound money is one feature. Yeah. But I mean, it starts on buying tickets for events and concerts. Yeah, I recently, my wife, wants that we go to a Coldplay concert, and for sure it was immediately sold out. Yeah, so try to get some tickets. Yeah, for sure there are a lot of tickets available, but it's amazing how people scamming each other there. Yeah, double selling tickets. So it's always fascinating that maximalists, no matter from which camp they are, they say, okay, a lot of Web3 projects are useless, but I see so many use cases where currently Web3 can solve a lot. Yeah? And this starts on not double selling whatever, and ends at decentralized calculations or validations of AI models, or giving just easy and seamless incentives for whatever tasks to be done, which are normally not so easy to coordinate if you need middlemen or whatever. Yeah?
Let me ask a very devil's advocate. Let me at least not even ask, but at least say a very devil's advocate opinion on what you just said. But it's not the technology, it's the humans. I mean, it doesn't matter what technology we're going to have at the end. The human, nature will stay the same, right? So, I mean, if blockchain definitely is, a much more trustless technology, I'm definitely have been a prophet myself for at least a decade of that technology, as long as I remember. And but at the end of the day, it sometimes brings me thinking, but yeah, it's about human nature. Guns don't kill people, people do. It's people who do the shit, not the ledgers, because we can cheat them, do the bad things. It's bad people who find those mistakes in the ledgers and want to. So again, it's a devil's advocate, of course, opinion, but what's your take on that? I mean, will blockchain technology or something that derives from it, will it help us as humanity to become a little bit better towards each other, or no? Or will we stay the same greedy people who trying to look, for new holes in a new technology, so to speak?
Hopefully humans will be humans also in future. And as you said, the bad things can't be solved by blockchain technology, but blockchain technology and sound money is probably making some stupid things more difficult. So if you look in history, there are a lot of changes in the global, let's say, geopolitical sphere, which was basically powered by inflation. Yeah. So I remember when I read a story about a battle between the Hollands and the France, and France had the better army and no, they will win. And suddenly when they were on the battlefields, they realized, come on, how did that army become so big? Yeah, because they inflated and they got purchasing power and were able, at least for a certain point in time, to pump their army because they were able to inflate. So, for example, that sound money and mathematically driven money will make such things more complicated. And I mean, for us, all of us at Daic, we are working together with a lot of partners and clients, and it's amazing because we say trust is the most important between relationships, even if we are in the trustless ecosystem. For us, is trust very important, and probably trusting people in that space. If you can trust people in that space, this is even something more important than in other spaces, because we all know, everywhere are scammers, everywhere you need to double check everything, and everybody is trying to scam you, at least it feels, but then if you can trust people in that space, that makes it even more amazing.
I think that every single, like, if you look at the history of, the big, so to say, I don't want to use the word scams, I'm so used to crypto, so I'm going to use the word scams. But, I'm talking about, stuff like the Mississippi, campaign and all that stuff. It's everywhere you look at it, from big to small, it's just cheating in the ledger. Somebody was just dodging the ledger, which blockchain does actually solve in a way, right? Of at least by distributing it, putting a timestamp on it, right? Of course, there is a lot more things to it, but in a box, so to speak. So definitely, I definitely hope that that optimism is something that's not just within me and you, but other people too. Now, let me a slightly different way. At Daic Capital, you guys are very like what I say, a great example, in my opinion, to the Web3 society. You're chain agnostic, at least from just looking at what you validate, guys, and from the way you are talking right now, it doesn't. At least what I'm hearing. I mean, I'm not against anybody who's specifically believes only in one chain, but it's weird these days, at least for sure. It's like kind of saying, using a checkbook, in today's age. But is that so, or am I getting the wrong or the right impression here? Are you guys like maxis in terms of, okay, only Ethereum, only Cosmos, only Polkadot, or are you like kind of, okay, technology, and we're going to embrace, it's about blockchain, it's not about a specific ecosystem?
No, absolutely. We are basically chain agnostic, and we don't close our eyes for any technology or blockchain. I mean, I think it's important to see how different projects try to solve different things. And sometimes it's more obvious that, or at least we think that this is not working out as expected, yeah, and others probably do it better. So yes, basically chain agnostic, but as you can see, for example, now validators, we are strongly focused on the Cosmos ecosystem because we basically believe in the whole interchain thesis in the Internet of Blockchain stuff, yeah, and think that different applications or different application sectors need different adjustments, but need to be able to communicate and transfer value or transfer data with the rest in a very seamless and automated, trustless way. So that's why a lot of our validators are focused on Cosmos. Yeah.
For sure, I can say that for us, Cosmos is going as a validator will always remain like, and as a project, our home as well. Even though we've been chain agnostic for a while too, and always have been personally, but for us, it's always it's what I've noticed, by the way, something, and I don't know if you noticed it too. And actually, this is a semantical mistake, in my opinion, that people should try to remove. I've seen a lot of YouTube marketers or big guys, when they talk about Cosmos, when they mention a project, what they usually do is, for example, they will say Akash on Cosmos, or I don't know, something on Cosmos, and that would really narrow it down, because people then think, well, it's bound to Cosmos. Well, it's not bound to Cosmos. It's an L1 that has a connection with the whole of Cosmos, but it's an L1 that you can still. And yeah, definitely that interchain thesis, sorry, is a very powerful one that I think, and we've seen it evolve, right? I mean, again, I don't want to make this like, so to say, Cosmos praise, but it is in a way, because it's been a long way how it's grown, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's also an amazing, let's say, blockchain development kit. I mean, it's not only the Cosmos SDK. If we look on Comet BFT, yeah, I mean, that's also part of Cosmos in the end. But on the other hand, you can see that more and more projects just use the networking and consensus layer and build their own application layer on top. And I mean, the biggest success story probably is IBC. I mean, we see IBC gets integrated more and more. It's really the cross-chain messaging protocol. And probably if people read IBC in other ecosystems, probably they also don't really, at least newcomers, don't really associate it with Cosmos at the first thing. Yeah, and I think it's a public good. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that the Cosmos community made that the standard, and as we can see, it's becoming the standard for all the inter-blockchain communications. Yeah.
I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with Near, because all the rumors of implementing IBC at protocol level are a bit like, I don't know. I mean, I there is even some work, I believe, done. I personally haven't looked into it, but anyways, different topic. As something that is very important to me personally, and to us as a validator, bare metal. I think it's but big topic, and I want to ask you why you guys choose to use bare metal, and yeah, like how did you guys decide that you're going to do bare metal? Is it bare metal by the way that you guys own, or is it hosted at some data center where you rent space, or is it a mixture? Of course, whatever you think security is bound not to talk about, let's not talk about it. But if we can talk a little bit about your setup and how did you guys decide to go towards that setup would be great, of course.
I mean, it's Avayas, and I think it was last year or 2 years ago already when we have the different AWS downtimes. Yeah. So yeah, if you have hospital machines there, basically there's nothing you can do. Yeah. One data center is burning down somewhere, and you don't even have the possibility to act there and ensure that these servers never get switched on again. If I remember right, there was something with Ethereum also a certain time ago when there was really a fire in a data center and there were some slapping because of double signing because that machines came on months later suddenly or something. It was Hetzner. Ah, okay. Yeah.
I believe so. I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think, sorry to interrupt, I think it was Ethereum and Hetzner. Yeah, I think so.
And I think this is the important thing. You need to have some kind of control about your machines on an infrastructure level. And yeah, we are basically trying to run everything from Austria. We are renting machines. We have our own there. Austria, because we have a very great partner who is basically hosting the server for us in the data center. We can ensure perfect uptime. We can ensure that that all the spare parts are existing and stored directly there, so that everything is basically running smooth. And I think in Austria, I mean, shout out to the crypto crew. They are also Austrians. Yeah, we don't have so many other validators, and especially if you look how many servers are running in Austria, it's giving us a great diversification in the whole geolocation space. Yeah, and there are coming also some other benefits. So, for example, we can ensure that our servers are running with 100% green energy and so on. So overall, yeah, basically the control thing made us to go there where we have that. Yeah.
So, but let's dig this a little bit. Let's dig this from different sides. So first of all, by the way, a little note for listeners, a little advertisement, guys. We have an episode recorded with Crypto Crew. Great team. Go check it out. Just type Crypto Crew in the search on the podcast website. You will find it, guys. It's a great episode. Really suggest to check it out. By the way, about Austria, I think I've had over the 4 years, I've been speaking to validators for a long time, man. And I'm sure there has been like one or two more. Crypto Crew, and there was somebody
there
else.
Is,
definitely somebody else.
There is one
somebody on the show.
H2O notes from something like that.
No, but I haven't had the guys on the show, but there was definitely somebody on the show it's been 4 years, man. It's but yeah.
But I have a question. Different dashboards, at least you can see that not so many servers are located.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. True. I have a question for you about green energy, but before Peter, before Peter, I want to play out a scenario for you because you said that control is important. And by the way, we are also bare metal validator, transitioning to bare metal and own bare metal. But let me play out a scenario for you. So, you said that control here is the most important, and you wake up one day and because it's hosted somewhere else, I don't know, whatever happened, can there be a scenario that even with bare metal, the operators lose access to their metal equipment?
Lose access to their metal equipment. Yeah,
I mean it's a crazy scenario, of course, but can it happen?
I mean, probably not in Austria, or at least we think so, because here we trust the government and also our the framework which is built there. And we also can see that this is for a lot of projects that is becoming more and more a factor. Yeah? We are not where it's super easy, let's say, to create companies on whatever. Yeah, we are here in Austria. It's not always that easy to deal with everything, but the crypto is basically quite well regulated. We have quite clear standards here, and we have also in Europe with MiCA a certain framework, so that gives us at least some clarity from a government and regulatory perspective. And on the other hand, it's important, for example, for us, the data centers know what we are doing. I mean, we know from other data centers that crypto is, not 100%, I would say, legal or illegal. It's a little bit in the gray, so, and that often there are coming pro-crypto statements, non-pro crypto statements. So also that is solved on our side. Yeah, everybody knows what we are doing, what software we are running there. So we can also avoid, also on a contract basis, that we get switched off immediately. So it's more like, I would say, catastrophic scenario, which would closes the doors or the ways, so we get out. So we're not able to access them.
I guess what I'm trying to dig at here is, what's your opinion, take, and no, of course, what you have mentioned, and I do also will want to ask you later a little bit about regulatory things, but before that, like, what's your take? There has been another new, sort of not new, it's something that exists way before crypto ever existed, but in crypto it started also as a new, not trend, wave, and it's not called decentralized infra. There is another word for it, I forgot. I think Althea, actually, within Cosmos, where the guys to coin the term not that long ago, and I don't remember what they call it, but anyways, the point was that, you know, not their point specifically, but a lot of the people who talk about it, you know, talking about building, is there such a way or a direction as to build decentralized infrastructure, let's say a validator not dependent on, you know, on the power grid, not dependent on the internet outcuts or whatever, you know, and not dependent at all on the grid. Is it possible, even something like that in today's age, or no?
Yeah, I mean, we have, I think, some kind of technology already in place with remote signers, and where the signers, let's say, we can... Horcrux, for example, we could put the signers on different locations, and then the sentries, definitely. So, I mean, it's then always a trade-off with latency and so on, so probably not for all the chains it's possible, but in general... And yeah, I mean, there is still one issue that it's still not 100% decentralized, because as we know, it's very hard to run data centers in areas with ambient temperatures above a certain level. So what you can anyway see is that it's quite on the northern or the southern hemisphere, but really next to the equator, where the huge temperatures are, it will be quite difficult, I think even impossible, to run data centers. So yeah, I think that at least that will be some, let's say, kind of restricted areas from 100% decentralization. Yeah.
I think the biggest data center in terms of the south, if we're talking of longitude here, is on Malta. Is it Simple? The guys from Simple Stake, right? Or sorry, or am I confusing the name? Or Staking? Just I might be confusing here, but the guys own the biggest data center in Malta, and it's their own data center that have been owned for years. But I don't think I know of anything down more south, because that weather, of course, is not what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. One last thing. Not every validator needs to be 100% geo-distributed. I mean, we have validator sets with which are normally big enough, and if the voting power is quite well distributed, I mean, it's quite good, I think, that we have different regions, which have different backbones, different power supplies, and total different regulatory perspectives, but also different signing technologies, different operation systems, maintenance strategies. So I think if we have quite good balanced validator set with diverse validators and diverse strategies, then our chains will survive. Yeah.
In terms of bare metal, like another question to hear, a lot of the validators and personally ourselves as well that talk to everybody works with different hardware. Somebody works with, hardware that is industrial star grade, server grade hardware. Somebody like Notional prefer to, or other. There is not the only team, Basement Nodes, Notional. There's quite a few teams who I spoke to who prefer to build their own, I'm assuming if you guys are hosted in a data center, you are more server grade, right?
We are more enterprise grade. We only have servers with minimum 2 uplinks and
Enterprise
minimum
grade, sorry.
2 power supplies. I think this is anyway necessary because uplink issues can always happen. Yeah. So this is where we really take care that we have that redundancy in circuits and also uplinks. And I think this is absolutely necessary for validators to have that in place.
Uplinks?
Yes. I mean, it's always happening if you look how often some misconfigurations in data centers happening. So if you have different carriers there, you let's say normally the downtimes are not that long. Yeah, but I think this is definitely an error which can be caused by humans. That your connection to the internet get lost at least for a certain time.
Our first one happened recently. We had a storm on the island, and we had one of the experimental still servers connected to, and a Starlink connected through a small UPS, and that was a server which was possible to have downtime on. We knew it, and when there was a lightning storm and the equipment was safe, but we didn't realize until the morning that the UPS actually got burnt because the lightning must have hit somewhere. Not, yeah, it was a small UPS. It was one of those, and now we know that you cannot use those kind of UPSs for that kind of equipment. Now it's something we learned as well. But I was going to actually ask you about equipment and stuff like that. What in terms of, using and going to the market, finding an equipment, for example, a lot of people talk about problems with disks, that it's a pain in the ass. Either some people say, I don't know, we only go for Samsung disks, we only need that, we only go for that. What about you guys? Have you been having any particular problems with any particular type of equipment in terms of, I don't know, disks, RAM, or anything else, or something that you can mention, of course, again, and I want to talk about?
I mean, disks are dying, but
disks are dying. Disks die, yes.
For sure. With the right RAID or file system in place, at least if they are not dying all at once, which could be a problem if you are small enough and you order some stuff from the same batches, it could be an issue. We know that disks are dying. Can't really say that there is one better than the other. I mean, we currently had some RAM issues, which were quite interesting, with also, which was super interesting. We set up an EVM node from an EVM chain, and we often went into data corruption. It was not a validator, it was just a node. And with all the RAM tests and everything, we were not really, it didn't look like a defect RAM, but we had that, good that it didn't happen on the validator, and we know now also that that can happen. I mean, we even had defect disks, which went through smart scans. We have periodic smart scans in place, and even the smart scan didn't detect them as defects. So a lot can happen, and I think this is also the experience which you need to have in place, and also better change some hardware more often than trying to solve it on a software or driver level, because in the end there are so many different kind of hardware defects which yeah, which you probably couldn't detect 100%. So yeah, that was the most recent issue we had.
You mentioned something I don't think if I had on the agenda today, but you mentioned smart scans and analytics, and not just analytics but monitoring. Sorry, so to speak, not analytics. Monitoring of the servers is a huge part of the DevOps work and of the validator's life. And what's your guys' sort of life in that area? What do you use? I mean, I've seen validators use stuff like Zen Duty. I've seen other validators use other open source solutions. I've seen validators use the stuff within Grafana itself. I think so many different setups, and I haven't actually seen or heard of any standards about monitoring, about alerting, more or less. Monitoring, I've never really heard of standards between validators. What do you guys do, and how do you guys save yourselves and your delegators from worrying about your hardware failing?
Hardware failing, we have some standard hardware monitoring in place. We do that with New Relic. More important is the application monitoring, I would say. The application monitoring, here we write everything by our own. We are basically writing for each chains our own scripts. They are basically then pushing metrics or pushing alerting, and then we have an escalation line in place. So basically, it starts with just if it starts from governance proposal. There's a new governance proposal, then there is just a post in the social media channel. Yeah. If there are missed blocks or whatever downtime, or downtime is immediately escalating for sure. Yeah. But then we have these escalation things in place, which are waking us up one by one in the late night. Yeah. So that is how we can guarantee there. As I said, the application monitoring we are building completely on our own, and we are now starting to release some stuff very soon so that also others can use it. So we I think in the next days we will also have a Telegram bot released, which is basically giving you missed blocks alerts and so on. Yeah, I mean, I think most validators have anyway their monitoring, alerting, and escalation strategies in place. But yeah, we will open source our stuff, and probably somebody needs it.
That is a lot of people. I mean, we use personally different tools from different teams, and if it's open source, we even, I think, try to commit a couple of times to send some fixes because the guys, one chain, for example, didn't work, didn't parse or something like that. But I can tell you that there is some good tools for sure, and shout out to every single team who open sources and builds them. And but definitely I cannot say yet though that there is one tool that is like, this is like the tool we're going to use. We use several. We use some for governance, some for uptime, some of our own. We use such a mixture that is like hearing that you guys are actually going to open source something in that direction is great news. I think not just to validators but to delegators as well. That means more validators, they can be safer and sleep safer, and more validators will be safer, because I think definitely most of the, I'm going to use the word fuck ups here, that happened with the validator over the past 4 or 5 years that I've been running validators for is definitely because of something wasn't noticed or not. It was a human error, always a human error.
Alright, yeah.
Always.
I
It's
think you have the right monitoring in
99.9%.
place, and then you don't monitor the right thing, and you have an issue. I mean, especially with all the additional software you need to run beside the signers. So talking about oracles, talking about breach software or services. I think this is anyway the most critical stuff currently out there, where you always can see validators getting issues because of that.
Now, I know that I'm going to say the phrase, the quote, and then I'm going to ask you what it means. So, new community validator model. Now, what does that mean? This is something that I found it in reference to Daic Capital, and I want to understand what it means for not just for you, but for everybody.
I mean, we as Daic, we didn't start as validators. We started, basically we were 5 co-founders, and we started because we pooled our money to invest together in projects, and we invest together in crypto, and also, let's say, leveraging all of our different backgrounds, so that we have, let's say, a heterogeneous bundle. Yeah. So from our 5 co-founders, 3 have a tech background, 2 have more business, regulatory, and TradeFi background mixed. And this is how we started our journey. And most people probably know us because of Danko, because 2 years ago, we started together with him validating with the Danko Zone X-Daic validator. So, he was a content creator, created lots of great content, and didn't want to sell basically his soul, so you can say it. So validating was the perfect give back and financing that stuff. And we basically did the technical part. And I think it's already 2 weeks ago. Because Danko, he quitted crypto, sadly. Yeah. But with Danko, we built up all that community validating, and he made that videos, as you know. And we started to make our own stuff, like the blog posts, the dashboards, the tools, and where else we can support projects and the community. Yeah, and since 2 weeks, we have basically a partnership with Coinage. And Coinage, Zach, shout out to him. He's basically a good friend from Danko and took over his stuff. And the amazing thing is that Coinage is media which is community owned. So we think now that Coinage X-Daic community validator, as we see ourselves, is really a community validator, because even the community, the media which gets produced is community owned and can be, let's say, community, the topics which should be produced there can be upvoted by the community. And we try to do, as I said, as much for the community. And yeah, that is why we have that in place. Yeah.
I like it. And there is a lot of validators that we speak to and that we unfortunately yet haven't spoken to, who try to decentralize themselves, like in various ways. It's great to hear what you mentioned. By the way, before I go to the next question, is there a DAO already?
A DAO? No.
Yeah, around your validator, do you already have like a DAO? No, not yet. We have a thing at Citizen Web3. We decided to because we talked to a lot of validators and some of them do have DAOs and tokens. We decided to put $100 in every DAO of a validator to buy all validator stakes around the world. That's possible. I've decided that to do it and put it for Citizen Web3, and maybe one day, I don't know, one of those validators will become worth $1 trillion. You never know. So
back to decentralization.
So, but what was I gonna ask? Wait, I got lost. No, about decentralization. So, and there is a lot of validators who, or teams or validators. I mean, obviously, validators are centralized entities. We all understand that. I hope everybody understands that there are operators who are human beings, and yeah. But like yourselves, there are teams who are trying to do those moves. Have you personally seen the best? I mean, of course, you've got your own approach, which is great. But have you seen another approach, apart from the one you described, to decentralized validators? And I think Cleomidis and Posthuman, we spoke several times on the show about. So maybe other ones. I'm always curious in that direction. I don't know. There isn't one that I've seen that say, hey, that's the perfect way.
Yeah, you mean decentralized? How do you exactly mean decentralizing validators?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That is the point. There is no specification in that. It's how somebody says that, we decentralize our validator because we give part of our profit to our delegators. Somebody says we decentralize our validator because the tasks are done by members in our community who are also owners. Somebody says we decentralize our validators because we are partners with, a community-owned social media that produce social. So exactly, there is no specification to the question. It was more for you to sort of understand how you understand it. Is there such a thing? Can there be? Of course there isn't, but can there be such a thing as a decentralized validator? I mean, is it even possible one day?
I mean, it's a good question in the end. In the end, if there are issues with the hardware, if there are issues with the chain, in the end, you need to be quick in problem solving, quick thinking. There, as you know, there are often chain updates which get completely out of control. Strange stuff needs to be done, rollbacks and historic snapshots, and we all know how important the state is if you have that, for example, on a single sign-on machine and whatever. So decentralizing that, I would say, final control of a machine or a machine cluster is probably not really possible. In the end, currently we still need humans to do that. There's a lot of possibility to decentralize key storing, how to store your keys, etc. I think that is more a security practice thing. And yeah, for sure, as everything can be tokenized, decentralized, but I think also there, especially for validators, it's, I think, important for a chain to have, so that the blockchain itself can be really decentralized. I think several parts of the validator set, they just need to be different to each other. As I said before, different locations, setups, security practices. So that makes it really decentralized. If we would all sit in Middle Europe and all follow the same standards and all do the same, then I think a network is not decentralized. So I think it's better to look on the decentralization of the networks and probably not in detail how the validators are decentralized or so on. But all great if new forms of organizations are built. I like that.
I can foresee the day the roll-up on which every validator is a DAO launched roll-up validator inside of a roll-up launching
controlled by different AI agents.
Of course,
which are
absolutely
trained by other DAOs.
that was at the beginning, of course. No, but you will never know, and I think that one day we will see some crazy stuff like that. I don't think that's far away. But something a bit different. You spoke a lot about the tools, public goods tools that you created. And in my opinion, it's very important these days, especially, the market has evolved from DPoS, where a validator was just signing off the right block and making sure that he produces the price feed in time, to slashing and now to the competition that we have today, where validators actually produce public goods and either they put their money back into the economy, like what you guys pretty much doing and launching the Web3 wheel, or do whatever else they can do with it. Of course, we have different players on the market, but you spoke a lot about public goods, and I think it's great in my opinion. So 2 questions: what's the most valuable tool you have built in your own opinion, and what has been the biggest challenge in terms of building those tools for you as a validator?
I mean, I see our tools not as valuable or important like probably other validators do. We heard Horcrux, signing solutions and all that stuff. So we do a little bit low-level tools. We basically try to build especially dashboards or mini apps or whatever, which makes the life for our users easier. So if you look on the existing ones which are online, there is one which is basically just converting batch 32 addresses to hex addresses. So minimum thing, but we had so many clicks there. It was important for the users. And especially then we have different dashboards. We build a lot of dashboards in the Terra ages and so on. And we basically try to do what also our delegators ask us to do. and what we think makes sense for them. So it's a variety. Currently, I think we have 3 dashboards currently online, 2 more for delegators, 1 more for validators. We also changed that a lot. So yeah, I can't really name any which has the most impact. As I said, it's not that it's like Horcrux or something which is giving that huge impact. So
You should not underestimate what you build, man. I've
yeah, yeah.
used your tool for converting addresses at least a couple of times. So for sure, it's been a saver when we were doing something with OmniFlex and we had to convert tons of addresses, and it was a big saver for just. It was at the beginning. I don't remember what we were doing, but we were doing something, and yeah. So yeah, man, your guys, your tools are there and people use them. I don't think they should be like important. I mean, for you though, personally, what has been something that you can look back, like not as a validator, but as Peter, and say, hey guys, we did that, and I know that tomorrow, even if I'm not a part of Daic Capital anymore, I know that I will use it, and I know that that's going to be something that other people will probably or might at least use.
I think one of the coolest tools I used at that time a lot was a tool which was built by my co-founders Phil and Simon in the old Terra times when they made the first token-rich lists for CV20 token, because it wasn't 20 tokens. So at that time there were no token-rich lists basically out. And we created there a rich list where basically all the different tokens got analyzed and the rich lists were built, and I used it quite often at that time. So this was basically the most important, at least for me, which we have ever built. Yeah.
Nice. I have another question for you before we're gonna go to the blitz to finish it off. Because again, it's you spoke a lot about chain agnosticism, and you spoke a lot about the tools that you guys build and bare metal, and we didn't touch on a lot of topics. Of course, it's impossible, but let's pretend that we did. What's the role of a validator for you? Or I don't know, it doesn't matter again how you answer this and where in which hat, but what is the role of a validator?
Firstly, producing blocks, signing blocks. And I think basically there are several clusters of validators. So for example, we have all that ones that are having these institutional clients. So their role is, beside producing blocks and securing the chain, bringing in traditional money, traditional finance, bringing in more for our ecosystems. So very important role there. I think we have the hardcore infrastructure provider validators, which are creating great tools for other validators. For example, I mean, shout out to Procaccio, for example, with all that stuff he is hosting and helping, making our life easier. Yeah. But also the ones who are providing the great RPC services for the foundation and basically making the backbone that the users of the blockchain can interact with it. Then there is the validators which are building tools for community or creating content for a community, trying to bring the great features out to a larger audience. Yeah. So I think besides validating blocks, signing blocks, there needs to be an add-on, and I think whatever skills the validator teams have, if you look to the other ones in Cosmos, which are doing chain audits or spinning up new chains, supporting new chains being built, it's also a new cluster. So I think it's that value add that you need to bring as a validator, and there are so many possibilities to bring that value add. And if you have a diverse set of validators where everybody can do what he can do best, that makes a great ecosystem. And yeah.
would you agree that we can summarize that as something like ecosystem development?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, let's go to the blitz then. 5 questions. You don't have to answer them quickly. I call it blitz, but it's more like a chill blitz. So the first one, easy. Give me a movie or a book or a song that has been with you throughout all of your life.
Star Wars.
Damn. Say again.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Okay. Give me one technological direction, such as, for example, blockchain, apart from blockchain itself, which you are curious in. You don't think about it as a blitz. Think about it as something that more machine learning. I don't know, whatever. I mean, for sure, engineering, for sure, right? I mean, coding of specific. I don't know, anything that particularly has interest to you, to Peter. For sure, blockchain today keeps you up reading news. In kind of at middle of the night if you need to. What other technological direction apart from blockchain would keep you up until midnight reading news if the situation arose?
So first of all, basically everything what's new and interesting, because I like everything what's new and coming up.
Okay.
And what I really like is to combine them. So I love it that I'm be able to have understanding in mechanical engineering, electronical engineering, coding, and that I'm able to build stuff, basically whatever I want. So the sum of everything and everything.
Perfect. Okay. Give me in blockchain 1 or 2 projects, please, not Polkadot, Near, Ethereum, or Cosmos, that have been fascinating in what they don't have to be on the radar. They don't have to be traded. Really, it's not about the token. It's really about a couple of projects. One could be one that you've seen recently that you're like, well, this is interesting. I like what these guys are doing.
I mean, I really like Torchain and the idea behind between really being able to swap or trade native currencies and all their clones which are coming up. So technology which is can really live without any middleman, and making that possible.
Okay. 2 slightly different questions, last ones. The first one, what is the motivational things one motivational thing that you could share with others that keeps Peter every morning out of bed, building dashboards, reading news, curious in technology? What is this one motivational thing, maybe, if there is one?
Really the interest in everything what's new and what's coming up, and that's really driving me. If I see something, for example, just a new blockchain project, I want to a new blockchain. I want to understand how it's working, how they are solving that. I'm easily motivated. Let's say it like this. Yeah.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Okay, last one. This one is a bit more abstract, but last one. Dead, alive, made up, human being, cartoon character, writer, coder, doesn't matter. Give me one personage or a real person or a cartoon or a movie character or a writer or a coder that has been not your guru, because I don't think gurus is a good thing, but an inspiration for you somewhere or throughout your life or sometimes in your life, someone that you sometimes look, oh, okay, yeah. Or is there anybody like that?
There's not really anybody like that, but I basically I'm amazed by people who are able to think really far in the future. So it's the low-hanging fruits are Elon Musk, yeah, or even I just heard an interview with Jeff Bezos, how he sees that production is structured in space, how people will live there. And I really like that. I really like people and find it inspiring who really are able not to look 10, 100, 50, 100 years, who really think much further. And these visions these visionaries and then how they act and doing everything at least to bring humanity a little bit towards their vision. That's what I find very fascinating.
Perfect. I love that. And yeah, it's actually a nice interview, by the way, for anybody. And of course, for all the listeners, all those things that Peter mentioned will be linked as show notes under the episode. Other than that, Peter, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for the answers, for sticking with the dodgy questions and the normal questions. I was okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Peter, don't hang up just yet. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and see you next time. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. This content was created by the Citizen Web3 Validator. You may support our work by delegating to any of our nodes.